All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, let me get off into this real quick with you today. Here's another breaking good news for you, some update in whatever it is that you could be going through, or, just some basic information that you probably didn't heard from your doctors, or that you probably didn't heard from your preacher, or that once you get this, you will understand a little more as far as what the leaders of who you are listening to are saying. But overall, again, we all carry what we carry in the kingdom of God. You understand that? And we all work with what we work with, because you only get what you work with. And money ain't got nothing to do with that. But everything got to do with God. Whatever you work with according to God's plan for your life. Not what your mama and daddy plan for your life, but what God's plan for your life. Meaning not ever being ashamed of God by going out and doing the will of God. Then that will that will be what you spread, meaning spread the gospel. Let me just make it as simple and plain as that. Spread the gospel. Spread the gospel. Yeah, I'm on here again. I am here again. I may be back again. I maybe. But we shall see. But I got another video coming up right after this one. Um, so I just wanted to say this on the next portion here, pertaining to previously what I spoke about the terror, because terror is in the daytime, horror is at the night, and if your heart is not right, you will undergo the terrors that's in the daytime, and then which is the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then you'll still in between those days go within the nighttime and deal with the horrors that's going to come towards you. And you're not going to know what to do if your heart is not standing upright with God. You're not going to know what to do. You're just going to. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Somebody said, "What are you saying?" Oh, you don't care either? Hmm. Yeah, I don't care either. Yeah, bye. Oh, you hear me? Oh, that's good. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about how um this is for spiritual content only. A lot of you will not understand what I'm talking about, but it's for the ones that do get what I'm saying. You understand? It's for the ones that do get what I'm saying. This is not for everybody. Even though you're coming in, it's not for everybody. But it is for those to go back and pray about it. Oh, she up. She up. My moderator is here. How you doing, moderator? So, yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, I'm talking about spiritual things, okay? And this is only for spiritual content only. Only for spiritual content only. And um, also, I get off into the therapy of that, bringing you back to the wisdom in which the Lord speaks so that you can be able to hear God's voice after this. And then you will see it versus all the madness that's out there covering and clouding your view. So therefore, that's what we speaking about over here today. But we getting off into this. Let me tell you this: the moral of the story, the topic of the thing is that in those days of reasoning, and this is based off of what I was talking about, speaking about earlier today. In the church, they say that men themselves are making our babies. Jesus is making our babies. But no, women are only a toll for our children. Mm. Hmm. Rephrase that. Rephrase that, whoever your name is. Rephrase that with all the hyphens and the A's and the NAV in another language. Can you rephrase that? That way I can kind of sort of understand what you're saying, and other people can see what you're saying. So I'm gonna keep going, and anybody that's coming in, please press that like button. Also subscribe to this channel so that you can get further broadcasting reminders that I'm here. Okay? And I'm coming forth. I'm here to stay. So anyway, in those days of reasoning, let me finish this up. In those days of reasonings, your heart, that's the topic of today. The topic is, in those days of reasonings, your heart will not be right. And you will begin to deal with certain things. There will be certain things that you will deal with due to your reasoning of why you're seeking revenge on another person, right? Because we all have our reasonings as to why we're seeking revenge on whoever it is. Either they did something to us or we just don't like them at all, right? And we just want that word revenge out on them regardless of what they did and what they did, right? And so, the Lord is, like I said earlier, and this is just something for that from what I said earlier, that the Lord is going to take your reasonings, and your reasonings is going to be judged. Your reasonings is going to be judged, and it's going to be judged by God. So that's why it's always you're supposed to take your authority. Not authority out against somebody, but authority towards the matter itself, meaning head strong, body strong, heart strong, feet strong, and walking your steps strong. You got to make sure that your steps are strong, meaning you are making the decisions in which God is giving to you. Those steps have to be strong. That's walking in your authority. And the only way that you can walk in authority is if you get lined up with God. You got to read your Bible for your mind. You got to get the understanding, meaning God's wisdom fill you up in order for your body to walk upright. And then your heart posture, that has to be following up behind Jesus Christ. That has to have a follow, not just a chosen. Because chosen, you just making decisions on your own. But to follow means that you following somebody else, which we're not just going to follow anybody. You're going to be following up behind Jesus, and what he is doing, you're going to do. You know how they used to get mad in school, or back in the day where Back in the day when they had the issues of slavery, people keep talking about slavery and stuff like that. Well, back in that day, if you, even in school, even with your family, if you don't do what they do, then they would come and they would be upset at you for not copying off what they did. And what they did was wrong things, but you had to follow in order to people please or get along with that group of individuals, right? Well, that's the same thing with following Jesus. He's more secure, that's a safer spot, and that's a better place for you to be at. Hi, software. How you doing today? I see you back. So, anyway. So, yes. How old am I? Doesn't matter. Yep, software back. He back. So, yes. In those days of reasoning, let me get back to this subject at hand. In those days of reasoning, your heart will not be right. And it's not going to be right. And you will begin to deal with some things that will fall upon you. So, as I spoke about earlier, I said that the terror, he's software speaking to you, Shade, in the chat. So, in the day, you'll be dealing with, you'll deal with, you'll be dealing with the horror. But now I'm finna take you into you'll be dealing with the terror in the day. But now I'm finna take you into the subject of the horror. The horror in which is past the terror during the day. Which I told you yesterday how if what you do during the day, that stuff carries with you at the nighttime. So it's best for you to pray during the day so you can get that at night. Oh, Shade, you hear what software engineer said? So, yes. So now I'm going to talk to you about the ongoing horror, meaning that what you dealt with during the day, the terror, your heart posture not being right, and your reasoning. So now you got the several reasonings in your head, and that means that you are in a prolonged decision making. You are in a prolonged decision making, meaning that now you stuck in whatever it is that you stuck in now. When you in the reasoning, you are stuck in something. And so now we're past the terror by day. Now we're going off into the nighttime. And now the horror is going to happen there because so many things does happen at night. Right? Yes. A lot of things happen at night. So again, I am talking to you about the horror. This is the horror that takes place. And then if you keep going in the days in terror and in the nights in horror, if you keep consistently going in this pattern that's not good for your heart, and you become with the lies of ongoing lies, and you begin to say, oh, I got a reason for this. Yes, that's manipulation. You start manipulating yourself into thinking why you are in this way, or why this is taking place, or my life been this way. It's not going to change. You just begin to substitute problems on to yourself. You just keep coming up with different things each and every day because it's been so prolonged of this terror in the morning and it's horror at night. So in return, in those days of reasonings, your heart will not be right. And you got to get your heart right in order for you to be standing upright in the posture and to receive what you need to receive from God, the heavens. Okay? So if you're dealing with these things, there will be, let me tell you, there will be fearfulness in this. If you keep on dealing with this forever and you keep on having these manipulating tongue to where you just saying anything to cover up what you're doing and making it be okay with where you're at in this terror, in this horror at night. So you just happen to have all these different things to keep on happening. And then next thing you know, if your heart posture is not right, then you'll start doing things that are not right. Again, there has been children who have been molested and touched on due to somebody's heart posture. Because of the terror that happens in the day and the horror that happens in the night. This stuff gets to you mentally and physically and places itself underneath your feet. And you will walk your steps in the wrong direction and have reasonings up behind why you doing it. But you will be in a mode of seeking revenge in your steps. Your steps will always be in a mode of revenge, nonstop. And so in that moment, you will be dealing with fearfulness all the time. In that moment, you'll deal with fearfulness and trembling. Do you get what I'm saying? In that moment of being in this horror by day, this terror by day and this horror by night, and in these reasonings in which you think that it's okay for you to walk in, and being used by other dimensional that's unbeknown to us, where we can't see it, the unseen, taking over you demonically and taking you somewhere and doing things with your body, and you being beaten of your body. Don't know what you're doing. All they gotta do is give you some wine or some liquor or some marijuana or some stuff like. All they gotta do is, or just intimately caress you or seduce you. That's all they gotta do, and you'll be overtaken by what it is that they take off with after that. And this is due to being consistently in horror. Hi, Samorski. Samorski. You'll consistently be taken off by this. And in that moment, there will be fearfulness and trembling. These things will take and be upon you. Okay? You'll be in a mode of trembling and fearfulness. Fearfulness and trembling will be what will become upon you. So that entitles this. Okay? When you in the mode and you think you in the right way of walking in your life, you will always undergo these feelings. Feelings of this fearfulness. Feelings of these tremblings. And that definition is shaking. You'll shake all the time. Quivering. You'll quiver all the time. That's quivering. Quivering is in your body where you always have these feelings of intimacy feeling. Can I say that? Intimately, those passion like feelings towards. That's quivering. That's the quivering in the spiritual realm. That's what it means by quivering in spiritual realm. You'll always have those quiverings on your body where you'll feel a seduction type of feeling. And the shaking is where you'll always shake because of the fear. You'll shake because of the fear, and then the quivering will come. And then who knows what you will do from there, right? Because you still stuck with the wrong heart posture. Just think of that. That's the title for it. That what we're talking about. The wrong heart posture. And you will always get off into the terror in the day and the horror in the night. Okay? You'll always be in the midst of that. Okay? And so with that will come fearfulness and trembling. And in the fearfulness and trembling is the shaking and the quivering. And typically this is in a result of, you'll see this in the results of like anxiety. Like you'll have certain things come about your body, and that's anxiousness. This is why the Lord says, do not be anxious for nothing. Because this will be what's on your body. Anxiousness. And you'll want what you want. You'll want what you want versus what you need. And you'll go after what you want all the time. And you'll always bump your head and be mad at God every time. You'll always bump your head and be mad at God every time. So you'll deal with anxiety, overly excited. You'll always you'll have this certain type of excitement, or frailty, which is for the elderly. You'll have the frailty in this, because as you get older, you deal with all these different things because of what you did in your younger years. And this is due to the fear. This is due to the fear, due to the trembling. You'll also come about with certain type of illnesses. An illness will come from this. Also fatigue, right? Fatigue in the spirit. This is spiritual content only. These are in the spirit, and they also can manifest themselves on the flesh. So you will have these things, these type of illnesses in the body and in the brain and under your feet. Okay? You'll deal with fatigue or just being upset all the time. You just always ready to pop off. You don't even know what the problem is. You just always ready to pop off. You don't even care what the problem is. You're just always ready to pop off. Always ready to make somebody else, stir somebody else up in anger. You'll always be ready for that. Due to the fearfulness and the trembling. And you didn't pray to God and tell him what you're dealing with. Because some of us who are children of God don't even know what we're dealing with. But if you are dealing with this shaking and this quivering, that means you are dealing with fearfulness and trembling. And you need to pray for fearfulness and trembling. Because number one, God brings upon a trembling, because one thing is that you in one state and then in another state. You on two sides. One is you in fear, but you in the mode of fearfulness. You're not in the fear of God, but yet you conscious of God. So that puts you in two places. Which means that it brings you to, ultimately, this is wrong, but you still doing it anyway. Because of the terror in the day and the horror at the night. And you consistently making your steps in this mode. And you got so used to it that you think that this is who you are. And you can't change it. You understand? So, also, this means that they, let me say this. They say how physically, right? They say that tremors can affect any part of your body. And this is true for the spiritual as well. Tremors can affect any part of the body, but they are also delusions. that has come upon you from many generations, many way back things that you can't see that has been put upon you, either by somebody touching you or somebody putting fear upon you from a distance, right? And you walking in there and you know it's wrong what you're doing, but yet you still do it because you're used to doing it. You used to carrying this thing out like this. And that's the only way you think you know how to do it. You're not willing to change anything because you got comfortable. You in the comfort zone of how you play your life out. And that is again your heart posture is in the wrong place with the wrong things, right? That's right. So that again, tremors can affect any part of the body, which are the hands. You shake a lot at the hands. So this to do with any type of sickness or disease that deals with the hands. That's that. Like when you know you're doing wrong, but yet you don't got no choice but to do it because you feel like you locked up against something, but instead you won't get away from it. You still going towards it because either money has pursued you to do this thing, or your love for somebody else has pursued you to do this thing, and it's against God and you know it. You know it's wrong, but you going against what you know it is. So you get the hands, the tremors in the hands. You know, certain sickness and diseases come from the tremors in the hands. You see many actors, many singers and songwriters. You see certain people deal with the tremors in the hand. That's because the heart posture. They need to work on the heart posture. And also the arms. You get tremors in the arms. You get tremors in the head. Tremors in the head could be like what's the one word I'm looking for? Tremors in the head could be like you go through like you know how when the person have seizures. That's tremors in the head. You can go through having seizures in your head, you know? And this is because you know that you don't want to do certain things no more. You know this wrong. But yet the fact that where you're in, the industry that you're in is causing you to do this thing. Either you do it or you're going to lose your life. And you probably worried about how many kids you got and all that, your family. But yet you still won't come down of even being in that type of industry or dealing with them type of people because of money or because you love someone. And so you deal with the head, you deal with the tongue, the tremoring of the tongue, and your vocal cords. You deal with the tremoring of the vocal cords, which can be short term or long term. It depends on in these areas. It's either short term or long term. It really depends, right? Um, and the causes of these are, let me tell you what the causes of these are, because they come from things. And those causes are anger, fear, again, the being fearful and being in fearfulness of something or someone. Fear, your brain, your nerves, movement disorders. This is what you deal with in this. These are causes. These are where it's movement disorders and brain tumors. You can also get like what they call multiple sclerosis, stuff like that, and what PTSD. Uh, and then this stuff can have effects on your legs and your face. You know, like where they call strokes and stuff like that. You get strokes, and your head again. You know, your brain where you can get Alzheimer's and stuff like that. where you are still doing a certain thing and you need not to worry anymore. You need to not to worry anymore. Just get your heart posture corrected, or else you'll be like an elderly person who going through these things, but yet they feel like they've been doing it this way, and so now they're older and they can't stop this stuff. But you can. At any age, you can stop this stuff. You don't have to deal with the ultimate thing is the terror in the day or the horror in the night of that terror. And you sitting up there getting angry at everybody, getting really vengeful. You're seeking, you're in a mode of seeking revenge, which is the wrong heart posture towards that person or anybody else. So that means you are quickly and easily to pop off. And you won't stop it. Like, I know them kids getting on your nerves. I know. I know that when you go to that job, your boss making you mad. I know. But stop responding in the way that you've been responding to them. Stop responding in the way you've been responding to them. Stop going out there taking and putting all this extra stress on you that you are doing once you go out there. Stop. Even the earth out, even this outside is stressful. Okay? Even that carries on stress when you go out there. Inside, outside, don't even matter. People keep talking about go outside, get you some outdoors. No, don't just go outside. Let God direct you to go where he wants you to go. That's what you do. Learn. Don't just go and do anything. Going outside just to, I mean, I understand that they say to go outside, look at the trees, look at the plants, look at the flowers. But I say go inside, pray. Go inside to yourself and pray. Meditate on the word of God. Get your mind right so that you can be able to do what it is that God has seeded and planted inside your thoughts. And you can go and do that. And then you can get a message from when you looking at the trees or the plants or the buildings or these people acting a certain way. And you will not be in it. You won't be laughing. You won't think it's a joke. You won't do nothing of the sorts with it. Because you'll be planted and seeded in your steps where you're supposed to be. So don't be overwhelmed, because that's what it causes. It causes an overwhelming, meaning the flow of water to be expounded over your head, and you fall deep down, never coming back up. And then in the spirit realm you will see yourself in a whole nother land underneath the sea. Under the sea. What it talks about in that little song, Under the Sea. I forgot how it go, but it talks about being under the sea. But you will see under that water, you have a whole new land, whole new world. What they talk about that in the other song, a whole new world, a whole new world. That's where you be. Yeah, a whole new world. And it's not a good thing in they're singing. There's actually a world that's underneath the ground, and that comes as those the spirits in which are evil and wicked that we cannot see, that comes from that. And they keep attacking you and keep on having you have the same things happen to you over and over again. Yep. even overly explaining yourself. It's the same thing as you in fearfulness and trembling, and then the horror is taking place in your life. And then you have these really bad dreams at night, and you can't even function when you wake up in the morning. And then you consistently keep going through this. Get yourself in that Bible, get yourself in that book right now to get your heart right. Because when it all said and done, it's the heart right. It's in who are you following. Stay blessed. Stay tuned for more. I might be back today. I might not. But salute to you soldiers. Have a better, more peaceful day.